while they're finishing that up, I wanted to talk this morning a little bit about the dance and the routine that my wife and I did with regard to the practice, the drilling, and the rehearsing. When Debbie and I decided to do this, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to work on something that would help me lose some weight and help us build as a couple and not be some kind of a stressful thing that we were doing with this party, with this whole thing. And by the way, 50 years old didn't bother me, okay? 60 years old bothered me, all right? Because it starts to really get into the mortality and the fact that there's probably less time in front of me than there is behind me, okay? So we were going through all of that, and I was looking for something that I could do and work on. And those of you that have ever seen me dance, I do have rhythm, and I can dance. And as a freestyle dancer, it looks okay. All right? Say yes. I just needed a little bit of reassurance there. No, seriously. Seriously, I like doing it, and my wife and I enjoy it, but it's all freestyle that we've done before that. I've not done anything choreographed. I don't even line dance, okay? Because it's with a group, and I don't get, my feet get tangled up, and I've just never been able to do that. And I've always wanted to. So we came up with this idea to do this, and Debbie went and got this instructor, this gal that actually danced on Broadway, and Kim was just, she was phenomenal. I had no idea how good she really was until we started putting this whole thing together. But you learn lessons in everything you do. And this was a phenomenal experience for me to help me understand sometimes the process that you go through with regard to the scripts and dialogues. Because some of you are as natural with communicating with people as I felt I was dancing without a net, so to speak, okay, without being choreographed, all right? So what happened was, and my wife was telling the instructor, wow, this guy's really good, this is gonna be easy. We started about 3 months ago with the process. Little did I, I thought, oh, we have plenty of time, plenty of time, plenty of time. Little did I know, we didn't have plenty of time, okay? And the first time out there, we went to the dance studio on 3rd Street where Dancing with the Stars, where they practice. And we went to the 3rd Street studio, and we got up there, and she plugged in the little routine. And I get up, and I start, just feeling good about it. And she says, no, 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 you have to do this. And she starts making a couple of moves, a couple simple moves. And I'm telling you, for 35 minutes, I couldn't do those simple moves. I couldn't get it right. Doing the step, the kick steps, I couldn't do the back, and I just couldn't do it and get it and do it with Debbie at the same time. It just wasn't coming. I was falling all over myself. So as I'm doing that, I'm realizing on the scripts and dialogues that it really correlates and goes together. I wrote down here thoughts on practice, and I was sitting down last night and thinking about what I'm going to talk about today with regard to this. I'm telling you, you can write down these thoughts. Practice really works. When you practice, it really does work in anything that you're going to do. But I'm going to talk specifically about scripts and dialogues right now. It feels terrible in the beginning. I'm telling you, my self-esteem was so low about 30, 40 minutes into my routine that I was almost in tears. It hurt so bad, all right, that I couldn't get the steps. I couldn't make it work. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm old. you know, it's not working, things aren't working for me, or I'm stupid, or I mean, just all the self-esteem issues that we come up with, which are probably the same things that you say to yourselves when it comes to the scripts and dialogue. When do you plan on moving? How long have you lived at this address? You know, those are the things that don't come naturally, and yet they need to when we start working on the routines. I wrote down here, it's harder for people who are naturals. If you're a naturally good communicator, if you're a naturally good dancer, if you have some rhythm, then when you go to the choreograph part of it, it's much more difficult. So it was very, very tough for me. I'm telling you, my wife was on the floor laughing 3/4 of the time. She had to bring a towel because she was just, tears were coming down. You know, I brought a towel because I'm sweating like crazy, and I have never, by the way, in 1 hour, I've never had a better exercise. 1 hour of dance practice. I have never had a better sweating exercise. And I've run marathons before. I've practiced for marathons. Nothing is more difficult than, or more strenuous than a 1 hour dance practice, okay? So I wrote down here, consistent practice with a coach was the only way. Consistent practice. 3 months, 3 nights a week. And let me tell you something. I go home tired. I work hard during the day. Now, I don't physically dig a ditch, I get that. But I leave it here in the office when I'm trying to communicate with you and get things done and go to the next level. So I'm beat when I get home. And a lot of times we didn't get the room until 8:30 at night. So I would practice from 8 to 9 o'clock. And then, you know, try to do my thing and then come away from there not feeling good. So without a coach, this would never have happened. No way. You've got to have somebody that helps you along the way. I wrote down here, if it was left to myself, it would never happen. If it was left to me. And those of you that know me, I'm pretty disciplined, aren't I? I'm pretty focused. When I want to get something done, I'm going to get it done. Had I not had this coach, this person encouraging me, teaching me, working with me through the way, this would never have been. No way. You've got to have a coach. You've got to have somebody with you along the way. I wrote down here, it takes time. And then I wrote down after it, way more time than you think it's going to take. Way more time. But I will say to you, and a number of you have experienced this in our advanced classes. In the beginning of the class, you feel like a klutz, right? Say yes. Yes. You know, you're learning a new script, the words aren't coming out right, it's very difficult. And yet, about 45 minutes into the class, it starts to flow. It starts to ebb and flow on this thing. You're starting to get it. There's some cadence involved with it. That's what I found, is that in the beginning of the class, almost every week was very difficult. By the end of the class, it really helped a lot. It was amazing. I also made a note here. Sometimes, some days didn't go as well as others. Sometimes I was terrible the whole day, the whole hour. It's just the way it worked out. And you just had to pick yourself back up and get back out there the next time. I wrote down here, you must be rested. I know scripts and dialogues doesn't seem like you have to be in it. But I'm telling you, a dance routine where you have to remember it, just like you have to remember the scripts and dialogues where it starts to become muscle memory. You know, you go out on that dance floor and you try to hit those marks. You try to start on time where the music you're supposed to start. You want to hit the marks. You want to be in unison together. You want to go when she's going this way, you're going this way. You want all those things. That's the scripts. And if you're not rested and you're not ready for it, you're in trouble. You got to stay focused with that stuff. And I wrote down here, pain is temporary, pride is forever. Pain is temporary. It hurt. My feet hurt. My legs hurt. My arms hurt. Stuff that I didn't know could hurt. Okay? Because you're out there using muscles that you didn't know. The pain of going through and learning the scripts is temporary. The pride of having learned them and being able to work with them and grow your business, you take forever. You take that forever. So I may never dance like that again. We may never do the routine like that again. But I will have that forever. And learning the scripts and dialogues once and for all for you, and then practicing them as you move along, is something that you'll be able to take with you forever. So you think about that. The lessons from that simple dance, that simple 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes tops in the 2 routines, that's all it was 3 months of work, 3 hours a week. 3 months, 3 hours a week. And we didn't miss. We made sure that we got at least three days in. You've got to do the same thing. Practice, drill, and rehearse. All right? Ready with me?
Yes.
Good.